Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do a detailed review on how to make tea with the Mr. Coffee Tea Cafe. So this is kind of their premium model tea maker. It retails for $30. It's a 2.5 quart. It's got a glass pitcher, which is really nice. So before we start, make sure this pitcher will fit in your ice box. It will not fit in my ice box. It's an extremely tall pitcher. So right off the bat, it is almost 10 1/4 inches tall, and that's taller than a half a gallon jug of milk. So in order for this to fit in my icebox, I got to take out a tray, which I don't know that I'm going to do that or not, but it does make a really good pitcher of tea, so I'm debating. So the whole coffee maker, it's got a lid. With the lid up and everything, it's about 17. It's not very wide. It doesn't take up much room. Front to back's about 6, 8 with the pitcher. And side to side's about 9 or 10. It's a pretty basic tea maker. It's got a 2-prong electrical cord, and it does have cord storage. Up at the top, it's got the place where the tea goes. So this is like a coffee maker. It's got like a brew head. Hot water is going to come out of here. You can move that out of the way. You've got this filter basket, and then you've got the basket that the filter goes in. So you can put loose leaf tea bags or tea bags. I'm sorry, you can put loose leaf tea in here or tea bags. I've never used loose leaf. I use tea bags. It even says you can put sugar and lime up here too. Now it does have a Brew Strength selector from there to strong, and that has something to do with how quickly the tea comes out of that, and it has something to do with it'll adjust how quick the water comes out of there, whether it gets to soak in the tea bags more or not. So these are nice and removable, like you just saw. They are dishwasher-safe, top rack. But one of the biggest things with this, so everybody sees the picture with it like this. This is not how it brews, though. You have to turn it. This is how it brews. So this is where you put the water. It's got a window here that tells you how much quantity of water you've got in there, and it's got a max line. And it's got a simple power button. You just turn it on, it brews the tea, and at the end of it, it'll turn off itself. So it turns off automatically. Okay, so let's talk tea bags for a second. I've never made tea before, and this was very complicated to me, but it ends up being very simple. So we've got tea bags here. So these are called tea bags. This is the standard tea bag size, and the manual references this. Then we've got the family size tea bags, and that's what these are. These are a little bigger. We can use either one, and I'm going to show you how. So in the manual, the manual says 5 to 7 tea bags, or 2 to 3 tablespoons of loose leaf tea. And again, you can put sugar and lemon or other flavorings in the brew basket. I haven't done that yet because I'm using sweet tea. Okay, so I did a little math. The standard tea bags that the manual calls out, 5 to 7 of them, each tea bag holds 2 grams of tea. The family size tea bags hold 4.5 grams of tea. So where I can put 5 to 7 of these, I only need 2 to 3 of the family size tea bags. So I only have 7 of the small tea bags. So here's how you would put the tea bags in. Again, you can move the brew head out of the way. They've got that string. I let the string hang off to the side, and then put the tea bag kind of right there. So again, I only have 5 of the small ones, but let the strings hang off to the side. That's okay. And then you just, when you put them in the brew head, the water is going to come out. It kind of shoots out this way and here. So you can kind of just put them in there like this, lay them flat, and you just keep them in there like that. That's how the tea bags go in. That's if you use the small ones. Now I like to use the bigger ones, and again, pull the string, let it sit in there nice and flat, let the string hang off to the side. And I'm going to use 3 of these tea bags. It tastes really, really good to me when I use 3. So again, you just got to kind of put them in there, let the strings hang off, because the strings have got kind of a label now. You don't want the hot water going through that. So we've just got the tea bags in the brew basket. Again, if you forget to move the head, when you close the lid, it moves it for you. So we'll close the lid. Now we're going to move this over here. And again, set your brew strength however you want it. And we're going to pour the water in here. So the way we pour the water in there is this pitcher has a water line on it. So if you can see right here, there's a mark on the pitcher and it says water. We're going to fill it up to water right there. Okay, so I've got the pitcher filled up with water to the water line. Now I'm going to take this, make sure you rotate this. Again, this can rotate here or there. We want to leave it in this position. This exposes where the water goes. Now we're going to pour the water in from the pitcher. And the pitcher pours relatively nice. Just go nice and slow. There is a window on the side to tell you how much quantity of water is in there. And it has a max line, so don't go above that max line or it will leak out the back. So we've got our water in there. Now we've got to add ice to the pitcher. So this brews really hot water over the tea, and then the tea goes into here, and then it goes over ice. So there's another line right here. It says ice. So this thing, unfortunately, these things take a lot of ice, and they will probably drain your ice maker. So make sure you've got plenty of ice before you start this. Now you can substitute a little bit of cold water for if you don't have enough ice. I don't know the exact ratio with that, but I'm going to fill this up with ice right to there. So again, this takes a lot of ice. Now I put this on. This has got like a strainer, so put it on so when you're ready to pour, when you've got it all done. So we've got ice up to here. I'm just a little short. Now I'm going to push it in. Hold the tea bags out of the way, the cords. So this is a very important step. You want to make sure that the pitcher handle is kind of facing you. This is turned. So the first time I brewed one of these, I had it like this, and I thought it came out down in there. That is not the case. This has to be like this, or it makes a mess. This water opening has to be exposed, and then so when it brews, it's going to come out the bottom of this brew basket, and it's going to come right into the pitcher. So that's very important. Make sure it is like this. And you don't want this turned because it kind of makes it stay outside. There's a little lip, and there's an indentation for that lip to fit in. So make sure you push it in just like that. It should be kind of flush here. Okay? That's how you know you've got it right. Yeah, like that. It's all the way in, and it's flush. It's not sticking out anywhere. So now we're ready to simply just hit the power button. It turns blue. Now the nice thing about this is it turns off automatically when it's done. So in about 6 minutes, we're going to have 2.5 quarts. Okay, so as soon as we turn it on, it almost starts brewing immediately. And we can open this up and look. See how it's just shooting the hot water over the tea bags. Now I'm going to try to get a temperature. It's usually around 180. That water coming out, yeah. It's a little hard to read because, yeah, about 180 degrees is what the temperature is coming out, going over. And you can see how it saturates all those tea bags pretty good. And we just close this. And again, we can take a look down here. It's melting that ice. So it's coming out at 180 degrees. It's going to melt a lot of that ice. So this is not a coffee maker that has pause brewing. Do not pull the pitcher out or it will leak, or it'll just brew right onto your counter. So you have to wait till it's completely done. Or if you need to stop it, you can unplug it or just press the power button, but let it brew the entire water. And you can kind of keep an eye on it. There's how much water, the water keeps going down. There's how much I got to go. And again, within 6 minutes, it's going to brew that whole container of water through the tea bags, and you'll have your tea. And I did the sweet tea, the southern sweet tea. It is pretty sweet, but it tastes really good. So while this is brewing, we can talk tea bags. So these are gallon-sized tea bags. Okay, these do not work. This is way too much tea. It won't fit in there. So originally I first bought these thinking, well, I'll just use fewer tea bags, but I didn't know what I was doing, so I'm not going to be able to use these. These are just way too big. The one thing I want to show you, so you can buy decaffeinated tea. So this has caffeine in it, but it's unsweetened. So if it doesn't say sweet tea, it's unsweetened. And again, this is the Walmart brand, but it says family size tea bags. So again, when you're using family size, it's 2 to 3 family size. You could even put you could put 4 tea bags in there. 4 will fit. Back over here, it's still doing a good job brewing. It's melting that ice pretty good. This is not very, this is pretty quiet when it's brewing. Now towards the end it does get a little noisy. Now again, here we have just the standard, if it just says tea bags, this is the standard tea bag. And this is unsweetened because it doesn't say sweet. And here we have the Southern Sweet Tea, so this is pretty sweet, but boy does it, I'm new to tea, so if you're new to tea, try this. It tastes really good. And again, these are the family size. And again, make sure your tea bags will do hot and cold. A lot of them say they'll do hot or cold. And even the Walmart one says iced tea or hot tea brew. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. It's getting ready to finish up here. We don't have hardly any water left in the reservoir. Towards the end of the brew process, you do get quite a bit of steam coming up here, so be careful. And it does get a little noisy towards the end. So here we've got a bunch of steam. This gets really, really hot, so be careful. Okay, so right at about between the 5 and the 6 minute mark is when it finishes up. And again, really, so the maker will stop being noisy, but the blue light goes out. That's the main thing you can tell. And then eventually the steam kind of stops. We can take a look. Yeah, it's pretty well done. There's your tea bags, and there's your iced tea. Okay, so we're clear to take this out now. You still might get a few drips that come down here, but there is really a lot of iced tea. Okay, so you don't have to stir it, but I am going to just stir it up a little bit. Yeah, it just kind of helps mix it all up. And let's get a temperature reading. We're in Celsius. So yeah, that's a really cold, that's a really nice iced tea. So again, if you look at the 3 little lines up here, that's how you know that the perforations are there, so it'll hold back the ice. And it's got one that won't hold back ice. Okay, so let's see how the pitcher pours. Yeah, it pours really nice. So you can add ice to your tea right now, but that's a really cold drink. That's a really nice, refreshing drink. It's pretty cold to drink. It's going to get warmer as it sits, so I would add a little ice to it. But the ice, here's the good thing. So the ice isn't going to melt in your cup a bunch. It's not going to get it watered down a whole bunch because it's already pretty cold. But that's an excellent tasting iced tea right now. So the big things to watch out for are make sure this pitcher will fit. It is really tall. You use a lot of ice. And just getting the right size tea bags and making sure you put the right amount of tea bags in there. That's kind of the big things to watch out for. And moving this, again, this is the brew position. You know, I guess when you are done with it, you can kind of move it back to this position. But make sure you brew in this position. It will let you brew in this position. So I started it up and everything, and it made a big mess. It even got ice tea down in the water reservoir, and it took a lot of cleaning. So I honestly don't like that part of it. I wish it was kind of like standard, but I'm gonna buy the other. There's a $20 Mr. Coffee iced tea. I'm gonna buy it and see how it does. There's not many of these ice. There used to be a bunch of iced tea makers, but I've been looking online and there's not very many of them. I am gonna put a link in the description to where you can buy these tea bags and buy this Mr. Coffee Tea Cafe tea maker off of Amazon. I am an Amazon associate now, so if you do click on those links, I do get a little bit of money from that as a way you can support me. And when I go to buy my next products, because I buy all my own products, nobody sends me free products or anything. I buy them off of Amazon. I don't get everything from Amazon, but if I do get them from Amazon, that will help defer some of the cost. So I appreciate everybody's help. If you've got any questions on this, leave them in the comments down below. Again, I am brand new to tea. I've never drank tea. I just started drinking coffee 3 years ago, and I'm really wanting to get away from soda, and tea is really helping me get away from soda. Now, I know it's really sugary right now, but I guess one step at a time. I'm going to slowly get away from the sugar and get away from the sugar in the coffee, because right now I'm putting cream and sugar in my coffee. But anyway, thanks everybody for your support, If you could, please like and subscribe.